Yes guys, and welcome back guys to a brand new video guys on my channel guys. And yes guys, I'm going to be doing 2 games in 1 video guys. I've not done one of these in a while, and the reason why I'm doing this yet again is because I took a mini break off YouTube just for about a week. A lot's been happening over the last few weeks. I just thought I'll step away from YouTube for a few days, and we're back now guys. Obviously it makes more sense in these 2 games as well, as we lost both of these fixtures as well, which puts the pressure onto United to sealing now top 4, and we're having to now win our last 3 out of the last 4 games as well. Tough task on our hands now. We can't afford to lose any more games, but 3 of the games are now back at Old Trafford, so we need to seal it now in the next sort of 3 games, which is against Wolves this weekend, Bournemouth away, and then back at home to Chelsea as well. So we want to try get it and done with in those 3 fixtures. Then we've got nothing to worry about in that last game against Fulham. Anyway guys, let's get straight into today's video. So the first game I'm going to be talking about is Brighton and Hove Albion versus Manchester United. Now obviously we made 4 changes from last game against Aston Villa. So talking about the start 11, so we started with De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Shaw, Dalot, Fred, Casemiro, Fernandes, Anthony, Martial and Rashford. Getting to the overall reaction now. Last Gasp penalty wins it for Brighton. Not good enough. Gutted. Heartbreak. Absolutely devastated. After all that good work, I can't believe it. Only got ourselves to blame, and we got to start taking our chances. It was a tight game. It came back to bite us. It's disappointing, annoying and frustrating. Top 4 still in our hands though, but a poor officiating costed us. Front 3 are not doing enough. This game, it was just simply not good enough by Manchester United. The chances were there, but we're not taking them. To walk away yet again, to lose this to Brighton Hove Albion, it was written in the stars, not beating anyone in the top 9. So it was written in the stars that we were going to lose this one against Brighton. Just simply not good enough by Manchester United yet again. After all that good work as well, it was a draw about 90 odd minutes, and then throw away a penalty just like that. The referee blew his full-time whistle, and then they went and had a look, VAR, and we gave away a silly penalty right at the end. I guess it's revenge after a few years ago when that happened on Brighton as well. Simply disappointing to throw away a penalty like that in the dying moments, in the last minutes as well of the game. Just simply not good enough by Manchester United, but overall it was just an awful performance all round. Not good enough on United's behalf, but simply not good enough in the end. But what did I make of the performance? I thought overall it was an awful performance. It was a good start by Manchester United. We played with a high line. You know, we got on the front foot. Anthony had a big chance. There was a loose pass by Lindelof. Matoma threw on goal. Could have been easily 1-0 to Brighton. De Gea made a great save though, and Brighton were comfortably playing out from the back. Brighton have been energetic. You know, United matched Brighton. Both teams had opportunities. United sucking in and disrupting Brighton's shape, and United are trying to beat the high press. But then United looked threatening on the counter as well, you know, but we were giving possession away too easily. United were showing some good passages of play, but we were just lacking that final pass, and that just lacking something in the final third, as we always do in times. But then it was poor decision making, and every single time we got on the break as well, and something just lacked, and it was just poor decision making again. But we've been wasteful in front of goal, and you know, too greedy as well in the final third, and the final third have been poor. We had the chances, but we just hadn't been clinical in front of goal, and we just didn't have that clinical edge. But I thought we had a decent first half. I thought in terms of the chances, I thought United were better than Brighton. But you know, to walk away with an okay first half, you would have thought we could have gone and won the game in the second half. But in the second half, I thought it was a little bit more competitive. It was end to end. You know, United were getting frustrated. Brighton obviously sort of like dominated play as well for the majority of that half. And you know, Brighton got into some good positions. They were pushing a lot more. They were a lot more sharper. They had shots, but they were going off target, Brighton, and then United just couldn't get out of our own half. You know, United were losing control in the midfield. You know, the game was getting a bit more stretched. It was an open game, but then the officiating was just a joke. Everything that Brighton got was going their way. Nothing was going our way. And then, you know, the game sort of got a bit more rowdy, and obviously the fans got a bit more fired up, the Brighton fans, and United got a bit more heated, and I thought United got a bit more fired up, and we got more on the front foot, tried to make things happen. But again, nothing happened. You know, we were just run ragged, and players were just getting a bit tired towards the end. And, you know, I thought we were toothless and wasteful in attack. Brighton were pushing towards the end. Brighton were putting the pressure on. It was never a foul, and it led to a corner. And handball by Shaw with the arm going up as well, and then Brighton scoring the penalty right at the end. Some fantastic individual performances, but game management and decision making just let us down right at the end. But it is what it is. Football is cruel, and we have to take it on the chin. Lessons learned, and move on to the next game. Luke Shaw had a flawless performance from start to finish, but right at the end he makes a mistake and handballs it. It's disappointing, to be honest, because it looked like we were going to go and draw the game against an awkward team as well. Brighton are not easy to go up against now. I think, Brighton show that nastiness about themselves now, and they didn't used to be like that under Graham Potter. Walk away with a loss against Brighton is disappointing, because we were going to seal for a draw, which would have been a good draw against an awkward team, and the way how the game went with the referee as well. I think we would have taken it as Manchester United fans, but to lose it right at the death on a penalty after when they fucked up on penalties at Wembley as well. I think they sort of got their revenge twice on Man United, because United a few years ago won it on a penalty after full time, and then they did the same thing. Obviously then lost on penalty in the FA Cup semi-final, so it's like they've gone and done United twice. I think to lose that game right at the end is obviously bitterly disappointing. Not what we wanted, but it's the way how it went in the end. United have not won a game against in the top 9 away from home this season. It's obviously a concern, but how do we address the situation? I mean, the thing is, we can only address the situation after the season's finished now, I think. It's a mentality issue with this team. I think we're just underperforming and we're not getting the best out of the team. I mean, they always say, when you go away, they always say, score the first goal and shut up the fans. I think United just can't deal with the noise in the stadium. I don't think it's just we're getting a bit too distracted, walking into those games thinking the pressure's off us a little bit, we'll get away with it, maybe, with it being away from home. When you go to any away fixture, whoever it is, Brighton, Newcastle, Liverpool, they know that the pressure's on them because they have to win that game with them being at home. When you're going away from home, it's always the one thing that you want to try and score as soon as you can, and I think United just can't do that when it gets a bit noisy in the stadium. So I think United are just walking into the game thinking underperforming, not getting everything out of the team, and we're just think it's going to be a walk in the park, and it's not going to be a walk in the park. Going to be a difficult game to go into, and we've just not setting our standards, and the standards are not high. It's just disappointing that we're walking into these away fixtures and we're not meeting our standards, and the high standards are not there. We're not meeting our standards, and then they're completely dropped as well in the away fixtures. So I think it's just a mentality issue. We just have to sort it out in the summer, to be honest, and that's the only way we can really do it, to be honest. Who was my man of the match? To be honest, I thought there were some good performances in that game. I think it was just a bit unfortunate that we lost it right at the end. I thought De Gea had a good game. I thought Wan-Bissaka did alright. I thought Lindelof was alright. I thought Luke Shaw had a good game though as well. I thought Delo, I thought had an alright game. I thought Fred wasn't so great. I thought Casemiro again. I think the midfield could have done better for sure. I think Casemiro was not so great. I thought Bruno was alright. I thought Anthony could have done better. Martial could have done better. I thought they all could have done better, to be honest, but Fred just didn't do enough. But the front three just didn't do enough again. The one guy, the flawless performance was Luke Shaw. That's who I have to give it to. But getting to the stats now, possession for Brighton, it was 59.6%. For Man United, it was bang on 40.4%. Goals for Brighton, it was 1. For Man United, it was 0. Total shots for Brighton, it was 22. And for Man United, it was 16. Shots on target for Brighton, it was 6. And for Man United, it was 5. Shot accuracy for Brighton, it was 27.3%. And for Man United, it was 31.2%. And shots inside the box for Brighton, it was 14. And for Man United, it was 8. Shots outside the box for Brighton, it was 8, and for Man United, it was 8. Total passes for Brighton, it was 563 passes, and for Man United, it was 385 passes. The pass accuracy for Brighton, it was 86.3%. For Man United, it was 75.6%. Getting into the substitutions now, Anthony went off for Sancho. Talking about Anthony's performance. Squandered a great chance, second minute. His link-up play was decent, but frustration got the better of him, and he was booked a miraculous foul. Fred went off us a bit, so talk about Fred's performance. A logical starter to counter Cancelo, but he was not remotely influential, too often sloppy with his passes. Martial went off a Wagos. Talking about Anthony's performance. Berated by Ten Hag, then had a good chance just before half time, but failed to keep it down. Another goalless start. Getting into in the second game now, which was West Ham versus Manchester United. Yet again, another loss by Manchester United against West Ham, which was obviously bitterly, yet again, disappointing not to win this game. You would have been thinking this would have been the game to obviously get back to winning ways and to bounce back after the Brighton defeat. beat. It was not the situation, but obviously we went to a 4-2-3-1 in this game, but we made 3 changes from the last game against Brighton. So we started with De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Shaw, Malacia, Casemiro, Ericsson, Anthony, Weghorst, Fernandes and Rashford. But yet again though, De Gea, howler, another loss on the road. Top 4 in doubt. It's not good enough. We need 3 wins out of the 4 to secure UCL for next season. We've got to start taking our chances and we need to be clinical. West Ham outplayed us, deserved to lose. We've got ourselves to blame. We've got to start taking our chances. It was yet again a tight game, but yet again it came back to bite us. Disappointing, annoying and frustrating. Top 4 is still in our hands. Disappointing to lose this game yet again against West Ham. You would have been thinking this is a team that's fighting for relegation, that's still not secured for next season. West Ham would have been there for the taking. You know, West Ham just literally turned it on. Absolutely outplayed Manchester United in this game. To be honest though, I think Ten Hag's got definitely replayed Declan Rice's interview, and he said after that game, what a better way to do it against Manchester United. And they know, because they've waited for that Man United fixture. They knew that they lost to Man City 3-0 and they've gone, right, well, we're playing Man United in the next couple of days. If you want to put it right, it's against them. It's disappointing. I thought the body language was all wrong in this game from all the players. Wasn't got enough yet again from these players. We're just strolling and we're just no fight, no passion, no effort from the players in a crucial part of the season when we need to see top 4 for next season, and not only just for top 4 but for fucking Champions League for next season as well. These players are just literally sleepwalking as well. The time now to wake up now as well, because I thought that performance was an absolute embarrassing. It was shocking, it was abysmal, it was awful, and it was a poor performance by Manchester United. But what did I make of the performance? It was a good start for West Ham. You know, they got on the front foot. It was a slow start for United. You know, big chance for Rashford on the counter. You know, United settling into the game. You know, United passing the ball comfortably. United showing some good signs. You know, showing some good passages of play. A big chance for Anthony as well. United taking more control of the game. United dictated the game as well. It was end-to-end, giving the ball away too easily though. Shit pass by Shaw, and West Ham take the lead for 1-0. That all led to that shit pass by Shaw as well. That led to that goal as well. Never mind De Gea for his howler. That all led from a shit pass from Luke Shaw as well to that goal. But then it was a good reaction from United, and again another big chance for Anthony, hit the post. You know, United had been wasteful in front of goal. You know, not taking our chances. Again, the front three and not doing enough. We've been too slow at times. There's just no fight and passion. You know, frustrating again on a poor first half for Manchester United. Second half, I thought slow start for United. I thought West Ham put the pressure on right away. You know, United sort of got, well, I think West Ham were on the front foot. They absolutely dominated us. But then United sort of regained a bit more possession and we had a big chance for Weghorst. Ten Hag made some substitutions, a change in personnel. United were just struggling to match West Ham. We were struggling with the physicality, they were more physical than us as well, West Ham. But United are getting bullied. You know, West Ham dominated us. They've got into some good positions. West Ham are showing some good passages of play. United are lacking ideas going forward. We looked clueless as well. We didn't know what we were doing. West Ham defended well. West Ham just could have scored more goals on more occasions. United was so flat as well. Just no threat in front of goal, no urgency about us, lack of character. Ten Hag made a few more changes. I thought that was when you saw a bit more of a spark from Manchester United as well. And then I think when it mattered, you know, we picked up the pace and Bruno put in a good corner, just needed a tap in from Martial. Martial had a big chance as well. We created the chances, but we were not clinical. Yet again, the front three just didn't do enough. And United did not look like scoring. There was too many poor individual performances. Game management and decision making was just awful as well. And yeah, onwards and upwards we move on. Is top 4 now in doubt? The way how you look at it, I think it's not in doubt because we only need 3 wins out of the 4 and we've got 3 games now at home that we need to win. But it'll be nice that we can actually just win the next 3. So we're going to have to find a way now to sort of now scoring these goals, and we have to be more aggressive and more rampant to take it to more teams and bring the energy about us as well. In that West Ham game, as we just struggled for physicality. Tiredness is not an excuse. People are going to come out, we're fatigued and all this lot. We're not fatigued. I think some of these players were not bothered. The body language was just all wrong. But I don't think top four's in doubt because the Scousers has been right behind us by 1 point. But the thing is, though, the Scousers have only got 3 games to go. They can only pick up 9 points from now to the end of the season. And also can pick up 12 points at the end of the season. We've got 3 games at home. You look at those fixtures now, Wolves, Chelsea and Fulham. 2 of them are in the bottom half as well. So there's a chance that we can definitely get top 4 now. It's not particularly in doubt. If we do lose another game, and you'll be scratching your head thinking, well, if we lose another game now, it could be over for United and we could be in for Europa League for next season. There's going to be some big words from Ten Hag now saying, right, lads, this is the time not to fuck about. This is the time now to start winning games yet again. We need to find solutions of winning these games, and we need to find a way to win these games now to the end of the season, and we need to just get it over the line and seal it now. So if we can win the next 3 games, which is against Wolves, Bournemouth, Chelsea, then you don't need to worry about the Fulham game on the last game of the season. Then you're not thinking, oh shit, yeah, we've got to win that as well. But we probably want to win that game against Fulham only just because it's the last game of the season. We want to finish it on a high and finish it strong. Win the next 3 now, and then we know that we've got Champions League football. There's no chance for Liverpool of getting it then. It's not in doubt, but if we lose another game, it could be over for United for sure. There's been criticism over the last few days regarding De Gea's future at the club after he made his mistake against West Ham. Does he deserve a new contract, or is it time to sell him? To be honest, I don't like this, because I think what people have got to realise is that several times this season De Gea has saved us. He's a fantastic goalkeeper. Goalkeepers are going to make mistakes. Everyone on the pitch is going to make mistakes. I back De Gea. He's a fantastic keeper. One of the best goalkeepers up there as well, with the other goalkeepers, the likes of your ter Stegens and your Neuers and stuff like that. But he's a fantastic keeper, and I think to sell him would be stupid. I think those fans are a bit deluded. I don't think they've realised that De Gea has saved us on multiple occasions this season. I think, there's been performances out there where Rashford has scored the goals and De Gea has saved us. So I think, those fans have got to sort of look at those sort of games and those performances and say, well, De Gea saved us in those games, and Rashford's the one that scored us the goal. I know he's not comfortable with his feet playing out from the back, but I think that's something that he needs to adapt to, and I think that's what he needs to change in his game for next season. We can't really change that now in the next 4 games, but maybe there is some tactical tweaks to what he wants to do with De Gea from now to the end of the season. Be stupid enough to sell him. We're not in for that situation where we're going to start having this debate about De Gea's future. Oh yeah, does he deserve a new contract and all this lot? I think he deserves a new contract, and I think it would be stupid to sell him after a mistake that he made. Goalkeepers are going to make mistakes. We're all human beings at the end of the day. Footballers can make mistakes, but it can't be happening. I know fans look at it because they're professional, getting paid ridiculous amounts of money, and they shouldn't be making mistakes like that. But you can only but learn from your mistakes. Just don't make them happen in the future games. I know De Gea's made mistakes before. You can only but learn from them at the end of the day. It's ridiculous that we're talking about De Gea's future. Fans getting on the back of him because of one mistake. It's not because of saying, oh yeah, he's a great servant at the club, it's time to sell. I think you're deluded. I think you've got to see that there's been games this season where De Gea has saved us multiple times in multiple games where the team's really been pushing for a goal. We've scored a goal, and then it's like, oh yeah, now we're clinging on to get the win. For instance, that Wolves game last year, scored a goal 1-0, and then they were pushing to get a goal. For instance, that's a game. To say to get rid of De Gea, deluded, stupid. Who is my man of the match? I think it's a struggle, to be honest, to find who is my man of the match, because I think this is a game that every player didn't have a great game. I thought De Gea obviously with his howler, not particularly great in the end. I thought Wan-Bissaka didn't have a great game. I thought Lindelof wasn't great. I thought the 2 centre-backs didn't do that bad, to be honest, yet again. But I think just tactical tweaks have got to be made in the next game. I'll get into that in a minute as well, but I think Casemiro, midfield got bullied, I thought, in the second half. I thought it was a bit non-existent in the second half, but it's a struggle to find the man of the match. I don't think anyone performed that well in that game. I can't really give you anyone. How do we beat Wolves? Now, obviously, we've got Wolves in our next fixture at Old Trafford. This is a must-win game now for Manchester United. We've got to get the 3 points. We can't afford to slip up here. It's not the time to slip up now. This is a game where we go into this game now against Wolves and think, right, well, Wolves are pretty much safe for next season now. They've got 40 points. I think Wolves are going to come into this game thinking, well, it's another chance for 3 points here. We got a fantastic win against Villa. Well, we beat Villa as well. That was our last win. So I think, for Wolves to go into this game and to get a result, it's going to be difficult for them, because they know that Eric Ten Hag's trying to make Old Trafford a fortress now. So, United have not lost a game since the start of the season. So I've got full confidence in this team to go on and win this game at home now. I think this is the time and the place not to lose. We can't afford to lose now against Wolves. It might be tough in times because I know Wolves are a good team. They've got a good manager, got a lot of quality all over the pitch. But I think Wolves have not had a great season this year. Obviously, still, I think Lopetegui's still trying to adapt to the Premier League as well, and I think he probably needs to see out to the end of the season as well. So United have only got one task to do in this game, and that's win. So we can't afford to drop points here. We can't afford to lose. We can't afford to draw. We've got to win this game. So we've got to start winning games. We've got to win 3 games now, and this is one of them. And I think Ten Hag's going to have some big words with them. So we've got to win this game against Wolves. It's a big game for Manchester United. We've got to treat it as our FA Cup final. We've got to bring the energy about us, bring the aggression, bring the high intensity, bring the high tempo, bring the energy about us. But yeah, I think Wolves not having a great season. Wolves are struggling to score goals. Obviously, they've only scored about 6 goals as well. So I think this is the chance for United now to get back to winning ways, and we've got to bounce back, and we've got to bounce back from these 2 losses now, and we can't keep losing games. We've got to find a way to win these games now as well. So, but yeah, I think Wolves, they've been inconsistent over the last this season as well. They're pretty much now safe for next season, but there's not scoring many goals. They've only scored 5 in April, but they're not having a great season. Defensively vulnerable. They're not finding the right balance, I don't think, but they're a threat on the set pieces. I think they'll try to play with a low block. I think in this game, though, I do think United will have plenty of possession, though, as well. So I think it's how effective we can be and how we can break them down and score these goals for sure. But I think they'll be there for the taking, though, Wolves. I think they'll look to counter-attack us. They'll defensively try to frustrate us. They'll try to keep it tight and compact, be organised. But they'll try to be brave, take risks. Like to come forward when they get on the counter, though, as well. They'll try to get on the front foot, or when they can, they'll try to be aggressive, bring the energy, high intensity, high tempo, try to be rampant when they can be. And I think they show incredible team spirit and character and determination and commitment. But United have got to defend properly in this game. Defensively, we need to be organised. Need to keep it tight and compact. Defensively, frustrate them. We need to be ruthless, relentless, aggressive, high intensity, high tempo, perfect energy. Create the chances, take your chances. Need to be clinical. Got to get the crosses into the box. Drive them out in position. Be brave. Take risks. Set pieces could come into play. We need to play with width. Get between the lines. Got to close them down. Got to get back. Don't let them back in the game. Don't leave any spaces open. They'll show incredible team spirit, character, and fight. Got to do the basics right in this game as well. Game management, decision making will be vital. We've got to get tight. Don't let them get a shot off. Sustain your attacks. Do your basics. Win your 50-50s. Win your second balls and win your duels. Win your 1v1s as well. Put them on the back foot. Keep possession. Full backs have got to be effective. Force them to make mistakes. Put them under pressure. Don't let the wingers cut back inside. Don't afford to make mistakes. Make the runs in from behind. Don't get pulled out of position. Be explosive and keep Costa and Jimenez quiet. Getting into the stats now. Possession for West Ham it was 34.7%. For Man United it was 65.3%. Goals for West Ham it was 1, and for Man United it was 0. Total shots for West Ham it was 15, and for Man United it was 19. Shots on target for West Ham it was 4, for Man United it was 4. Shot accuracy for West Ham it was 26.7%, and for Man United it was 21.1%. Shots inside the box for West Ham it was 10, and for Man United it was 11. Shots outside the box for West Ham it was 5, and for Man United it was 8. Total passes for West Ham it was 345 passes. For Man United it was 680 passes. Pass accuracy for West Ham it was 76.2%, and for Man United it was 86.5%. Getting into the substitutions now, Wakehorse went off for Martial. Talk about Woot's performance. One of the polished performances on his recall to the starting 11, and he actually had a clean shot on target, made way for Anthony Martial. Eriksen went off for Sabitzer. Talk about Christian's performance. United had more control with Eriksen back in the team, and he had a decent goal scoring chance. One in the second half. Anthony went off for Sancho. Talk about Anthony's performance. Hit the upright via a deflection off Declan Rice, but too one-dimensional too often, and did not get going after the interval. Wan-Bissaka went off for Dalot, talk about Aaron's performance. Found himself in a space of a number of times on the right, but reluctant attacker, as always, booked for fouling Mikel Antonio. Malacia went off for Shaw, talk about Tyra's performance. Not fazed by a miracle, Jared Bowen, and got a tough tackle in on Michael Antonio, but got booked and daftly handled the ball. Next up, we've got Wolves. Wolves are 13th in the league. Now, this is our next game now against Wolves. I think for me now, Ten Hag's got to make some tactical changes, and what I mean by that, he's got to get Luke Shaw back at left back. It's not right by having him there. I think what he's got to do now, Ten Hag, he's got to be ruthless with some of these players. I think some of them against West Ham were absolutely shockingly bad. If I was Ten Hag, I'd send a message to these players now and be ruthless, drop some of those players after that performance. That's not just a one-off, that's several times this season when we've done that. I think Ten Hag's going to have to be ruthless, maybe bring back Varane into the team or bring Maguire back into the team, because people might laugh, but we've got to get Luke Shaw back at left back. It's nice having Luke Shaw as a left centre back and he performs well in that position, but there's a time where Luke Shaw needs to be playing at left back so he can give Rashford that service, and him and Rashford on that left side. There's got to be some tactical changes, some tactical tweaks in this game. Coming into this game though against Wolves, it's a must win for Manchester United. We can't afford to drop points, we can't afford to draw, we can't afford to lose. We've only got one task now, and which is win this game. It's going to be a tough game against Wolves. I do expect Wolves to come into this game and to definitely give us a game. But the one thing with it being at Old Trafford though, I think Wolves are going to have to play really well to beat us as well. Wolves are pretty much now safe for next season, so it's not like they're going to come out all guns blazing, but I do expect United to have loads of possession in this game. I do expect United to be all around Wolves. Defensively, we've got to have to keep it tight, compact, frustrate them as well defensively. I think it's just what we do when we go forwards. I think United have just lacked the last couple of times. I think the body language was just all wrong in the last game, and I think there's a lack of effort from the players and a lack of fight and passion from the players, a lack of character as well. We need to bring that in this game. We need to bring the character, we need to bring the team spirit about us, we need to bring the fight, the passion, the pride, the heart about this game as well. The fans are going to get right behind this team as well. I think that's going to play a massive part in this game. The fans are going to get right behind this team. This is a game where we've got to win now. We can't afford to slip up, we can't afford to drop points. But I think when we come out in this game, we have to come on the front foot, be aggressive, be ruthless, be aggressive, bring the energy, bring the high intensity, bring the tempo, bring the energy. We've got to this time. We've had a full week to prepare for this as well, so there's no excuses going into this game as well. It's not like we've had a game midweek and we're going to be knackered out, because we're not. There's no excuses in this game now. We've got to bring the energy, bring the high intensity, bring the tempo. We've got to be aggressive. We've got to bring that nastiness about ourselves as well, and their faces as well, because I think this Wolves side will just look to sort of park the bus, play with a low block, and then when they get the ball, they're just going to try and counter-attack us. That's what they're going to do. So it's all down to what Manchester United do in this game. I've got to win this game. Come on, lads. You've got to win this game now. You can't afford to drop points now. This is not the time and the place now to drop points again. We've got to win this game. It's a must win. It's a must 3 points. We've got to get the win here. This weekend could go our way, potentially, as well. If we win this game, Liverpool have got to go and travel to Leicester. Leicester need the points there. This potentially could go our way this weekend. And Newcastle have got a tough game against Leeds United, so they're travelling as well, and Leeds need the points as well. So this could be our weekend if we win this game and the results go our way. This could be the weekend that all the results could go our way. So we've got to do our job. We've got to focus on our job. Don't focus about Liverpool being a point behind. Focus on this job in front of you, because this is a tough game against Wolves. I do think this could be the clash of the tactics, but I do think Wolves could be there for the taking as well on Saturday. It's what we do in and out of possession. I think when we've got possession, we've got to be ruthless, we've got to be aggressive, we've got to be rampant, we've got to get on the front foot, get an early goal. That'll be the dream start for United. Have a fast start in both halves. I think the one thing that we've got to do is we just got to play with courage, intent, conviction, and we need to turn up to this game as well. If we turn up and perform well for a full 90 minutes, turn up to this game, we'll get the 3 points against Wolves for sure. And it's a tough place to go to for Wolves to go and get a result here. They know that they're going to have to be at their best as well to get something out of this, but let's keep it going. We can make history, definitely for sure. We've only got 3 games now to go to the end of the season. I know they're not easy games, but come on, we've got to win this game now against Wolves. It's a must win now. Wolves are scoring 0.9 goals per game, and Wolves are conceding 1.4 goals per game. Wolves have the 9th worst defence in the league. as well. And also, this is the chance for Manchester United to do the double on Wolves as well. But Wolves have only won 11, drawn 7, and they've lost 17. They've lost in Leeds United 2-1, Tottenham 1-0, Man City 3-0, West Ham 2-0, Chelsea 3-0, Palace 2-1, Leicester 4-0, Brighton 3-2, Arsenal 2-0, Man United 1-0, Man City 3-0, Bournemouth 1-0, Liverpool 2-0, Newcastle 2-1, Leeds 4-2, Leicester 2-1, and Brighton 6-0. Wolves have lost 10 games away from home this season, so that's obviously way over 50% of games that they've lost anyway. That's a good like 60% that they've lost away from home, so there's a chance here that we can fucking beat these as well. The players to look out for is Sarr, Natori, Collins, Dawson, Castro, Semiedo, Kilman, Totti, Bueno, Lamina, Neves, Podence, Sarabia, Nunez, Montinho, Neto, Jimenez, Wangi Chan, Kuna, Costa, and Traore. Hope you guys are enjoying another video. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the video in the next couple of days. And peace.